Karnataka, the hijab hearing is underway in the Supreme Court. Solicitor General Tushar Mehta has cited the ongoing anti-hijab protests in Iran, saying that they are constitutionally Islamic countries where women are fighting against the hijab. Tushar Mehta has also argued that wearing a hijab is not an essential religious practice in Islam. He's also said that a mere mention in the Quran will not make the hijab essential. The government has also argued that it was the PFI which started the movement to get people, young girls, to wear a hijab, adding that the protests were not a spontaneous act by some students. Alleging a larger conspiracy, the Government Council also argued that no one wore hijab in 2004. It only started after 2021. On the other hand, senior advocate Tushar Mehta, representing the petitioners challenging the Karnataka High Court judgment, argued that a hijab is connected to dignity of a Muslim woman, just like a Hindu woman covers her head with a pallu or a scarf. Dave also argued that girls wearing hijab to the school does not violate anybody's peace and safety. Let me go across to Ananya Bhatnagar. The fact that Iran and what's happening in Iran was brought into the arguments today, what was placed on record, and the contrast between India and Iran, of course, one is a democracy, the other is a theocracy.
Well, definitely, Zakka, fierce arguments took place on the day 8 of the Karnataka Hijab hearing today before a bench of Justice Hemant Gupta and Sudhanshu Dhulia. Solicitor General of India, Tushar Mehta, began his arguments with the PFI angle, clearly saying that until the December 2021, there was no hijab back then, and the girls were not wearing or pressing for it. But then the PFI came in and launched a social media propaganda and a program with regards to wearing of hijabs, and after that, agitations erupted in the state of Karnataka with regards to the wearing of hijab, and the situation in the state of Karnataka deteriorated. Apart from that, he also cited Iran protests, wherein he said that hijab is not an essential religious practice, and constitutionally, in fact, Islamic countries like Iran, women are protesting against the wearing of hijab, though there it is being pressed as a cultural prospect. Here, what am I arguing is that hijab is not an essential religious practice in the Islamic religion, though it finds a mention in the Quranic inscriptions, but then also it is not an essential religious practice. He also went on to cite the judgments of the Shirur Math and the Dargah committee, and in fact the arguments would continue tomorrow at 10:45 when the bench reassembles to hear the day 9 of Karnataka Hijab hearing.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Ananya, thanks very much for joining us with the details of what happened in a fiery day of arguments in the Supreme Court in the hijab matter. That's a wrap.